Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome here to the season finale of the ASRA Sunday Night Speed. We're getting ready for the sprint cars here tonight, kicking things off with the season finale for the 360 sprints, and we're getting set for our heat races here, and we're going to be determining ourselves a champion as well. This is going to be the closest championship battle during the course of tonight's two festivities. As coming into this race, it's Cody Olsen holding the points lead by 2 points over Clifford Driscoll, and I took the opportunity to talk with the league admins here tonight to figure out what the situation is going to be for Driscoll and Olsen. The way the point system works, one position is 2 points, so we could end up having Driscoll and Olsen be tied for the points lead at the end of the night. I don't know if the tiebreaker would be due to wins or what the tiebreaker exactly would be. We would have to wait, of course, on league admins to be able to tell us which the case may be. Olsen will be rolling off 6th here in this first heat behind Adam Huggins and Martin Karch. Brian Hogue is going to line up 3rd alongside of Michael Massey, and then John Bragman, and as we mentioned, Cody Olsen going to be rolling off from the 6th position. Drivers here tonight at the Volusia Speedway Park, and we're going to see what's going to happen with Olsen here this evening, because I recollect a couple of weeks ago when we covered one of these races, he started towards the mid-pack portion of the field and had to take a while to fight his way up to the front as the green flag is out here for our first of our 6th lap heat. This, of course, is going to determine who's going to start on the pole position. These heats are determined by random drawing. iRacing gets to choose them, as to the front goes the 33 of Martin Karch using that outside line. You notice they go way up against the wall there through the corners. Most oftentimes we end up seeing drivers at these dirt tracks go right up against the wall, but the walls here are steel guardrails. So you get up there, I'm not necessarily certain you're not going to come away without some kind of damage on your race car, as we've already had a driver with an issue. Cody Olsen has pulled his car to pit road. I don't know if that car spun down there or not, but that car is now into the pit lane. And looks like he is going to come back out. I'm almost wondering if maybe he got a little bit of loose coming out of that final corner and may have directed his car down into pit road, as Michael Massey under fire from John Bragman. That's for 2nd. Got another battle behind them for 4th. That's Brian Hogue. He's got Adam Huggins to his inside. They're going to settle it out at least for 3rd or 4th place rather. Massey and Bragman, though, on this final lap. That made the best battle coming to the checkered flag. It's way up ahead there is Martin Karch, who looks like he will be starting pole position here for the main event. Out of 4, it will be Massey crossing in 2nd, Bragman 3rd, then Hogue, Huggins, and Olsen. And I'm really worried about that 6th car, because he is going to be starting way at the back. He just now has crossed the start finish line to complete his 6th and final circuit. Now it's going to be Driscoll having to try and take advantage here of a poor showing in this heat by Cody Olsen to see if maybe that might be the difference maker into who's going to win this championship here tonight and who is not, as Scott Munksgaard is going to line up on the pole for our 2nd heat alongside of Timothy DeSchwart, Kyle Stoltz, and Rick Gibson in row 2, and Grant Wesley going to be rolling off from the 5th position. So 5 drivers here in this heat. Some other good battles that we've got going on in the point standings. We saw John Bragman just moments ago finish 3rd in his heat. Well, Timothy DeSchwart, who's rolling off 2nd here. Those 2 drivers, they're separated by only 3 points for 4th position in the standings. And of course, here for a lot of these drivers, they're wanting to finish out the season with a trip to victory lane. They're also wanting to take the opportunity to have the best finish possible in the point stands, even if they aren't in the championship battle. I believe Martin Karch started 2nd in the first heat race. So we'll keep an eye on the 69 of Timothy DeSchwart, who's going to be on the outside of the front row here. See if that outside line does get the better jump on restarts. And if that is the case, if we have cautions during the main event, is that outside line going to be the lane that the race leader will choose coming to restarts to have that advantage down into turn 1? We're going to have to wait and see about that. Usually when I kind of think that outside line has a lot more momentum, and I assume that race leaders are going to take that outside line, they actually do take the inside line, be able to have the shorter way into the corner, then drift up into that outside line by the time they get over into turns 3 and 4. Monk's Guard, that bright yellow 44, 8th in the point standings. Timothy Schwartz, 4th in points, going to lead us down here to the green. And you saw right there, Schwartz just got a huge run there, as did Rick Gibson on that outside line. I think that outside line has got some kind of grip that these drivers in the main event are going to have to take notice of, especially if they're up at the front. Gibson way up the track there. Looks like he may have slipped up just a tad. Kyle Stoltz goes around the outside to 3rd. Monk's Guard, who started on point, drops all the way back to 4th, in danger of losing that to Grant Wesley. Wesley looked like he was a little timid, trying to make a move over there in 1 and 2. Make the 3 and 4. Now he's over in 1 and 2, and now back to 3 and 4, trying to find a way around. How about Kyle Stoltz, though? Three-way battle for the lead. Stoltz to the inside of Gibson, to the inside of DeSchwartz, and slides up in front, now crossed over by DeSchwartz. And here comes Gibson looking at the inside, can't quite get there. So Stoltz with some aggressive moves gets up to 2nd. Here's Gibson, he gets chopped off. Almost a little contact there between DeSchwartz and Stoltz. I think there was contact that sent the 69 up the track. A little bit more contact down the back straightaway as coming to the white flag, Kyle Stoltz using every bit of his race car to move drivers out of the way. Here comes Gibson, drives it deep, tries to clear, can't do it. Stoltz with the momentum on the top side. He's going to lead them into 3 and 4. Here's DeSchwartz with a last-ditch effort for 2nd. Gibson crosses him over to the line. It's close for 2nd place. Scoring gives it to Gibson. DeSchwartz will be 3rd, but Kyle Stoltz will win the 2nd heat. What a crazy battle that was in the final 2 laps. And now we saw Cody Olsen finished 6th in his heat. We are now in the 3rd heat, where Clifford Driscoll will be rolling off from the 4th position. Terry Bauman will start on point for this one. Brian Beach to his outside. Jason Minat, then Driscoll, and Ronald Piles will be the drivers in this 3rd heat race. Looks like with the fact that we had 6 drivers in the 1st heat, this will be our 3rd of 4 heats, and all drivers will make it into the main event. We will not have to rely on an LCQ or a B main. So it looks like officially we're going to have 21 drivers that will take the green flag for tonight's main event. If we look at some of the drivers here in this group that have been running well in the point stands and trying to finish the season out on a high note. We already mentioned about Clifford Driscoll, his situation. He's trying to battle for a championship here tonight. Came in 2 points behind Cody Olsen. The other driver that we would look at here would be Brian Beach, 11th in the standings, trying to move his way into the top 10. He is 15 points behind Brian Hogue for that 10th position. Terry Bauman starting on the pole here for this heat. He is 13th in the standings coming into tonight's race. Ronald Piles is 16th, and Jason Minat is 17th. We saw a heck of a battle there in the closing stages of the 2nd heat. A runaway in the 1st heat. What is this 3rd heat going to look like? And for Clifford Driscoll, he needs to make sure that he qualifies as close up to the front as possible, due to the fact that it's looking very likely that Cody Olsen will be rolling off from dead last in tonight's main event as the green flag is in the air. And look at this, already 3 wide. I believe that was Jason Minat that tried to take it way down there, as Brian Beach around the outside. Clifford Driscoll will move to 2nd. And look at Driscoll through the middle, trying to take the lead down the ball. Oh, and a car hit the pit wall. That was Jason Minat. He just hit the pit wall start. We got another car flipping up there in turn 1. That's the 68 of Ronald Piles. And he'll teleport his car back to pit road. As the battle for the lead is on, Brian Beach, Clifford Driscoll. Driscoll, of course, would love to start this race from the 3rd position, but he's got to make sure he doesn't tear up his race car in this heat and start towards the back with Cody Olsen. He wants to have that position advantage when the green flag drops in the main event. Hounding Brian Beach, though, all over his back bumper. Will he look to make a move, as now Beach goes way down to the bottom, got a little loose down there. Driscoll's going to get a nice exit out of turn 4. Closes up to the back bumper. Now it's going to be Driscoll to the inside, Beach to the outside. Beach gets the advantage off of turn 2. Now Beach almost up to the wall. Driscoll again to the inside line. Driscoll, I'm not sure if he's trying to make a path here for the lead or if he's just trying not to run into the back of that 18 and preserve second place as we're on the final lap. Now about 5 car lengths back is Driscoll, and I think this is exactly what Driscoll planned. Was he was not going to ruin his chances of a good starting position trying to battle with Brian Beach. Beach will get the win. Driscoll second. Jason Minette, who I think was the one that hit the pit wall, he'll get third. Terry Bauman fourth, and Ronald Piles did not get to finish this one. He's going to finish in the 5th position. And now these drivers will get set for the warm-up session here, as now we've had all the drivers that are going to be taking part in tonight's main event. I thought it was going to be 21 drivers. It's actually going to be 16 drivers. We only had 3 heats, 6 in the first, 5 in the second, and 5 in the third. It looks like the Clifford Driscoll machine will be rolling off 6th on the starting grid. And boy, Cody Olson, he's going to have quite a task on his hands trying to fight his way up through the field. Remember, it's only one finishing position that gains you 2 points, and that is the deficit that Driscoll came into this race behind. So for Driscoll, if he can finish, I think 2 positions ahead of Cody Olson, he'll win this championship. If he finishes only 1, then Olson and Driscoll would be tied, and I'm not certain how that would work out. We're going to be back here for the main event in just a moment as these drivers take the opportunity to get used to a little bit more of how Volusia is going to play into tonight's main event race. We're stepping aside for a quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We're going side by side, and we'll be right back for the green.
VFW was founded, their mission is really to look out for the veterans community, to make sure that our nation upholds its promise to really care for the service member, the veteran, and his or her family. There are several ways that the VFW fights for veterans today. The top services include disability claims assistance, advocacy on Capitol Hill and with the Department of Veterans Affairs. We also offer scholarship opportunities, and then also volunteerism. For me personally, when I came back from Iraq, my life experience was drastically different from those around me, and the Veterans of Foreign Wars really spoke to me. The reason I would encourage veterans who have served overseas today to join the VFW is because this is your organization. The VFW is for veterans. Every generation, a new generation of leaders steps up in the Veterans of Foreign Wars and fights for the veterans community.
The Veterans of Foreign Wars. No one does more for veterans. For more information on the VFW, go to ahctv.com/sacrifice.
Field getting ready to grid for tonight's 30-lap main event for the Sunday night speed here for the ASRA 360 limited sprint cars. A champion about to be decided. It's going to come down between Clifford Driscoll and Cody Olson. Driscoll is indeed rolling off from 6th, Olson rolling off from 16th. That's one position, 2 points separating those two drivers coming into tonight's season finale. Cody Olson, we already know, has wrapped up the 410 Sprint Car Championship, which we'll see the conclusion of that later on this evening, but he wants to go 2 for 2. Driscoll trying to get his first here, trying to see if he can deny Olson that opportunity. Martin Cardew is the winner of the first heat, rolls off from the pole alongside of Kyle Stoltz. Brian Beach will roll off third. Those were your 3 winners of the 3 heat races. Michael Massey will roll off from 4th. Rick Gibson in 5th. Clifford Driscoll, as we mentioned, 6th. John Bragman, 7th. Rest of the top 10 are Timothy DeSchwart, Jason Minette, and Brian Hogue. Scott Monksgaard in 11th. Terry Bauman, 12th. 13th, Adam Huggins. Grant Wesley back in 14th. Ronald Piles in 15th. And Cody Olson will start shotgun on the field in the 16th position. 30 laps of racing here tonight. The start of the finale of Sunday Night Speed with the limited 360 sprint cars. It's Olsen versus Driscoll for the championship. Everybody else wants to end the season with a win. Green flags in the air at Volusia. Kyle Stoltz, who we saw be very aggressive in his heat race, he goes to the point. They're 3 wide, almost 4 wide behind them. Is that Driscoll looking for that 4 wide situation? It was out of turn 4. Someone was out of shape back there as well. Might have possibly been, I think it was the 14 of Brian Hogue. He keeps it straight, however. We're still 3 wide. This is around the 3rd, 4th position. Way up the track and loose. That was John Bragman. Rick Gibson's got his car in the middle. They now settle it out to somewhat double wide as we'll follow back the progress of Cody Olsen, who's right down there on that inside line. You saw how close he was to the pit wall coming off of turn 4. He's now working the inside of Brian Beach in the 18, who started this race from the 3rd position. He's now fallen back outside of the top 10. We got a car up in the wall. That's Jason Minat in the 014. He keeps it going. We remain green for the time being. Stoltz is gone. Karch now under fire for 2nd. That's Driscoll looking for the position. Rick Gibson back there as well. He's running in 4th, and then a long ways back before you get to John Bragman, who's now under fire from the 6th of Cody Olsen. In a matter of 6 laps, as the caution is out, that's going to be Jason Minat again right in front of the leaders. Look out. Everybody able to avoid. That was a close call up there in 3 and 4. But going back to Cody Olsen, he was able in 6 laps to work his way from dead last up to the 6th position. So Clifford Driscoll, who's in 2nd, better keep an eye out the windshield and an eye on the rearview mirror, because that 6th machine is boogieing up towards the front of the running order. We're going to look back and see what happened to Jason Minat over in turn 4, and it just looks like he got loose on that top side. We'd already seen him in the wall over in that corner the lap before. That car just snaps around on him, and this is the dangerous thing. There's Martin Karch just avoiding. Here's a couple of others. I think that was Timothy DeSchwartz that had to avoid. I believe that also was Adam Huggins in the 16 that had to avoid. He was in technically a racing lane for these drivers, and we nearly had a number of contenders get completely taken out with where that 014 was sitting. Another driver that's had an issue here in the beginning stages of this race, Terry Bauman, he actually had to bring his car to pit road and currently sits 2 laps down in the 16th position. I think that's him coming on the inside line, trying to get a couple of those laps back, trying to get back on the lead lap before they go green, which is going to be momentarily as the lights are out atop the pace truck. Kyle Stoltz is going to take the inside line for this restart, putting Driscoll on the top side, and I'm not necessarily certain that's such a bad thing for Driscoll, since he's not going to have to fight to get up in that top line, which is seemed to be, at least here in the heat races, the faster way around the racetrack, especially in terms of straightaway speed. The bad news is his competitor, Cody Olsen, is also on that outside line, 3rd in that black, green, and white number 6. Kyle Stoltz back through the gears. We're back underway on lap 7. Let's bear in mind here tonight with the sprint cars, only green flag laps count. There will be 30 green flag laps. Caution laps will not count. And Martin Karch looking to the inside of Driscoll. Not quite going to be able to get alongside him, I don't think. Oh, he did actually. Got a nice run there out of turn 4. Might take 2nd place away from the 63. And high, wide, handsome was Cody Olsen, who I think got the outside wall just the least little bit there with his race car. No, correction. That was Rick Gibson in the 38 that got the steel guardrail. Olsen's now 3 wide on the bottom. That's John Bragman in the middle. Big Gibson on the top side. Martin Karch got out of shape on the inside line just ahead of Olsen. May slow up that 6th machine just the least little bit. And Driscoll, for the time being, still holds 2nd place. He's nearly almost a full 2nd behind Kyle Stoltz. Let's see what Olsen is seeing right now. This is on board with that 6th. Not a whole heck of a lot of visibility out the right side of that race car. Man, that's hard stopping when you see that pit wall coming at you. Caution is out for the 2nd time tonight. Looks like it might possibly have been the 68 of Ronald Piles that brought this yellow flag out, I think. Piles, who found himself flipping upside down over in turn 1 in his heat. Let's see if he indeed is the reason for the second caution coming out, closing in on the halfway point. And boy, we said he was up and over in his heat. He's up and over here again in the main event. And Jason Minot, I believe, who is inside. Oh, right there's the contact. Who was that? Was that Grant Wesley, I think, in the 88 that might have gotten him? Fortunately, that card comes back onto all four wheels, is able to continue on, but quite a lot of front-end damage on the 88 of Grant Wesley. I'm pretty certain that's the car that got him there out of turn 4. We'll follow this 88 car around just to confirm the suspicion. Takes the line in the corner and, yep, gets hit there in the right rear area of his machine. He did get some damage out of that, and he has actually come to pit road and taken on his only fast repair of the night, as has Ronald Piles. These drivers do have one fast repair at their disposal. Jason Minot, Grant Wesley, and Ronald Piles have all used those up to this point. Terry Bauman, I think, will be able to get back on the lead lap now in that 40 machine. When he came to pit road for his unscheduled stop, he got the damage repaired manually, spent about a minute and a half on pit road, which is why he fell so many laps down. So he still, at least according to what I'm seeing here, has a fast repair should he need it. Well, Kyle Stoltz is en route to pick up his league-leading 4th win of the season if he's able to close out the deal here in these final 19 laps. He's 3rd in the point standings. You almost wonder if he had run the full season, what would have happened between himself, Driscoll, and Olsen. Green flag back in the air. Coming into this race, a total of 28 points back is Kyle Stoltz. There's no way he can make up that ground to battle for the championship. Driscoll right now runs in the 2nd position. He's under fire from Rick Gibson. Gibson slides up there through 3 and 4, however. So Driscoll holds on to the spot. Cody Olsen, though, he's down that inside line. 3 wide, 4 wide off of turn 2. That was Gibson, Bregman, Olsen, and Karch. And Karch is going to get into Olsen. Sends him sideways. They both save it, but boy, that lost Cody Olsen about 3 or 4 positions. And Olsen, not going to be too thrilled with that, I don't think. He's now battling with Jason Minot for the 6th position. And that just really helped Clifford Driscoll out a ton. Olsen's trying to hook that bottom right down to that inside wall. It doesn't look like he's really gaining. It looks like he's holding just about even with Jason Minot, who's using that outside line. Oh, Minot, though. We saw him get some damage earlier on, took a fast repair. He's now up inside the top 10 yet again. That's Timothy DeSchwartz in 69 up ahead of them, 4th in the standings. Bragman, who's 5th in points, just up ahead of him in 4th. And right now, Clifford Driscoll, hoping that these 14 laps, these 13 and a half laps, tick by really, really fast, because he has 5 positions, actually 6 positions between himself and Cody Olsen. He wants this thing to remain green to the end. He does not want that 6th machine back up here, lined up with an opportunity to pass more race cars. As things stand right now, Clifford Driscoll would be the champion of the Limited 360 Sprint Cars Championship. A lot can happen between now and the checkered flag. Will fall back again to Olsen, who's now migrated to the top side, trying to get around Brian Hogue. That would be for 7th. I know we're not focusing very much up there at the front, but that's because Kyle Stoltz has pulled away. The last time that we looked, just prior to the caution that came out, he was about a second ahead. He's now a 2nd and 2/10, making a 2nd and 3/10 ahead of Clifford Driscoll as he makes his way around the lap machine of Terry Bauman. So right now, Stoltz is running away with this thing. As we got an incident back here, Ronald Piles, I think, got up into the wall over in 1 and 2. That car is a handful for him at the moment. Keeps it up there out of the way, currently running in the 9th position, battling with Grant Wesley and Scott Munksgaard for those spots. Olsen, though, has not been able to make any more forward progress. I almost wonder if maybe he got some damage there when Martin Karch got into him. but that car looks like it's a little bit slower, a little bit more sluggish than it was before when we saw him work his way from 16th up to 6th. He's now fallen back into the clutches of Scott Monksgaard. That's a battle for the 7th spot. Driscoll right now just trying to keep his car as clean as possible. He's got a gap up to Stoltz. He's got a gap back to Gibson. He's just got to hit his marks. Hope a caution doesn't come out. So a caution is going to come out, and it's going to be Jason Minat. Second time tonight, Jason Minat has run into issues. He's had to teleport his car to pit road, and he was running at the time, I believe, in the 5th position. What a tough break for Jason, who had already utilized his faster pair, and so he is out of tonight's event. And we took a bit of a wild ride there on the guardrail. We're actually going to go all the way back to turn 2, because this is where it culminates. I think it's Minat and Bragman getting together off of turn 2 right here. And I think that just messed Minat's entry into turn 3. Those right side tires get up there onto the steel guardrail, and then he hits the outside wall. That little opening there. And that is engine done for the 014. Well, this just breathed new life into that 6 of Cody Olsen. I mean, can he pick up? Basically, he would have to pick up what? 3 spots here in the final 5 laps of this race. Can he do that? In order to win the championship, I think he would have to pick up 3 spots. That would be a tiebreaker, which I think would go to Olsen due to the fact that Olsen has 2 wins this season. Driscoll has 1. However, if Driscoll wins this race, or if Olsen finishes any lower than 4th place and Driscoll can hold on to 2nd, that's Driscoll winning the championship. And I believe because we are working our 3rd caution, the restarts are going to be single file from here on in. So a 5-lap shootout, single file restart. Cody Olsen is going to get to choose which line he wants to take going into turn 1, but so will Clifford Driscoll. It's all going to come down to a 5-lap shootout between Driscoll and Olsen with 2-point separation for the championship. Kyle Stoltz, though, he's been the dominant car of the night. He's going to pull away. Driscoll pulls away from Gibson. Where's Olsen going to go going into turns 1 and 2? He's back down on the bottom. That's where he's been most of the evening in the main event as well as in his heat. Driscoll was under fire from Gibson. Gibson can't make the move. Boxed in right now is Cody Olsen. He'll try to get the inside of Timothy DeSchwartz. He's able to do so. Don Bragman there. Oh, almost some contact for the 4th position as Olsen really low off that turn. He did lose the spot to Bragman. He's about to maybe lose the spot to DeSchwartz. He's trying to swing the outside. Got loose off of 2 though. Olsen's up to 5th. Olsen trying to tuck in front of DeSchwartz. He succeeds in doing so. Trying to take the shortest way around the racetrack. Caution is out. Caution is out. We had just hit 2 to go. Next time by was going to be the white flag. And I think it's Martin Karch who started on the pole. There's another car on pit road. That's the 12 of Michael Massey, who apparently has been there for the last 9 laps. So Massey has run into trouble. Not sure what happened to him. And oh, there was more than one car involved in this incident. Martin Karch got into somebody. To find out who it was. He's up and into the wall. And here comes Terry Bauman. And he just nails the 33. Both cars go up and into the air. I don't believe Martin Karch had used his faster pair yet. So I think he's going to be able to get back out there. But he's going to be a couple of laps down since he had to teleport his car to pit road. And it's going to be a 1-lap shootout, I think, here for these drivers. It may be a green-white check, but I think it's a 1-lap shootout. Maybe a 2-lap shootout. We'll have to wait and see. Our ticker's showing us it's going to be a 2-lap shootout. Kyle Stoltz did not get around to take the white flag. They were about half a lap away from doing so. So now Driscoll in second, Gibson third, Bragman fourth, Olsen fifth. In the matter of either 1 or 2 laps, depending on what it's going to be, I think it's going to be 2 laps here to decide the race winner in the championship. Olsen has to pick up 3 more spots. Or I'm sorry, 2 more spots. He's got to get by Bragman, and he's got to get by Gibson. And he has been committed, it seems, to that extreme inside line. About the lowest any driver has run on the track all night long. But it hasn't really paid off in picking him up the spots that he picked up back at the initial drop of the green flag. We saw him pick up 10 spots in the first 7 laps of that race. He's kind of stalled out between 5th and 7th as the green flag's out. Green, white, checker to finish this thing out. Stoltz has pulled away. Driscoll trying to play defense here against Rick Gibson. Didn't clear for second yet. Gibson's still there. And there's Olsen in the 6th. He's up to 4th. He's got to pass 1 more race car as the white flag is in the air. Driscoll, he's got to stay ahead of Gibson. Got a car on the wall, that's Bragman. Driscoll's got to stay ahead of this 38. Can he get him at the line? Coming to the start-finish line, Driscoll will finish 2nd. Olsen's going to finish 4th. Stoltz wins the race. Driscoll will win the championship by 2 points over Cody Olsen. That was a nail-biter to the finish. If Driscoll had lost a spot to Gibson, or if Olsen had gained a spot on Gibson, Olsen would have been the champion. And top 3 now gonna sit on the front straightaway, the podium finishers. Stoltz with his league-leading 4th win of the season, and Clifford Driscoll. And I go all the way back to the heat races we had, with Driscoll rolling off 6th and Olsen all the way back in 16th. I think that was the huge difference maker in this one. Olsen there, 4th, Bragman in 5th. Let's look at the finishing results here, the official finishing results. It was 2-point separation, Olsen over Driscoll coming into tonight's race, with Driscoll finishing 2 spots ahead of Olsen. That's 4 points he gained, which means Driscoll by 2 points is going to be your champion in the ASRA Limited 360 Sprint Cars Championship. How about that? Well, Cody Olsen obviously wanted to go 2 for 2 here tonight. He's got the 410 Sprints Championship all wrapped up. Coverage of that will be taking place momentarily. But Clifford Driscoll, we're going to be talking with him in just a few moments, as well as our other podium finishers. What a race here tonight for Kyle Stoltz as well. Maybe the most exciting of the 3 heat races, as we saw him, Brian Beach, as well as I believe it was Rick Gibson. They were in a tussle in that second heat. Stoltz really had a strong race car in that one, though, muscled his way to the race lead. And here tonight, as soon as he got to the front, he was gone. At certain points, had a 1.5-second gap back to 2nd place. Undoubtedly the fastest car on the racetrack all evening long. Take a look at the rest of the finishing results from tonight's event, as we're now going to see if we can get some interviews with our top 3 finishers here tonight, including our race winner Kyle Stoltz and our champion Clifford Driscoll. Let's see if we can get our 3rd place finisher Rick Gibson, who I believe is going to finish 7th in the championship standings here this season.
User was moved to your channel.
Hey Rick, it's Seth up here in the Flatout Racing Network studios. You got me?
I got you, Seth.
Well, man, you know, we end up focusing a lot on these season finales, on the drivers, obviously, that are battling for the championship. But here tonight, in that final green-white checkered, the focus was really on you, because it all depended on where you finished as to who was going to win that championship here tonight. But a great podium finish for you to cap off the season. How crazy was it out here tonight compared to some of the other dirt tracks you guys have had to tackle this schedule?
Oh, I mean, by far, this is probably my favorite track. So anytime we come and unload here, I always want to do good. So just trying to come out here, put on a good show, and run up front is my big focus, and trying to get the W. But hats off to Kyle and Clifford there. They were cut above the rest, so it was fun racing with them.
You know, obviously, when we come to these dirt tracks, drivers are always searching for the grip later on in the race. And we saw drivers on the bottom, drivers in the middle, drivers on the top. It kind of seemed when we got to the halfway point of this race that all 3 lanes equaled out. It was very difficult to pass the longer the run went on. Was that the case?
Yeah, definitely. Even with them 2 up there, I just couldn't pull them, so I had to keep searching around. I think I ran the middle slider line a couple times, and finally got to the bottom, got some meat down there, and started to see results. So I just kept trying to hit that.
You know, Rick, obviously we mentioned the fact you came into this race with a victory. You were 7th in the point standings. You know, you're so close there in the conversation to be able to pick up your 2nd win of the season. What little more do you think you needed there on that green-white checker to be able to get by those top 2?
Honestly, I don't know. With them, you know, you got to have your A game on, and you know, I think I brought it, but it's just sometimes just not your night and not your line. So I mean, I did everything that I could to try and sneak a W in there. It hasn't been the greatest season for me this season, but anytime you can run up front with these guys, it's nothing to hang your hat about.
Well, certainly a great way for you to end off the season on the podium. A top 3 finish in 3rd here tonight at Volusia with the 360s. We know you guys are a moment away from climbing into your 410s, but sponsors, thank you. Shout-outs, what do you got there, Rick?
Wanted to say thank you guys for coming out and broadcasting, and to Mike Massey, everything he does over at ASRA the past years. So without him, you know, this probably wouldn't be happening. So a big shout out to Mike and everybody else for coming out here and running, and you guys putting it on for us.
Well, that's Rick Gibson, brings it home P3 here tonight in the 360 sprint cars at Volusia. Again, congrats on a great run, and hopefully we can see you double down on podium finishes a little bit later on here tonight in the 410s.
Yeah, hopefully I get a step up or 2 up there, so I'm looking forward to it. Thanks, Seth.
User was moved out of your channel.
Now, normally at this circumstances, we would interview the 2nd place driver, but since he's our champion, we'll leave him for last. Let's now go down to Victory Lane, where Kyle Stoltz is celebrating his 4th win of the season.
User was moved to your channel.
Hey, Kyle, it's Seth up here in the Flatout Racing Network studios. You got me?
I got you, bud.
Well, man, I mean, the main event was exciting, but that heat race you were in was definitely exciting as well. We saw you actually muscle your way to the front. Was there anything from being able to make those kind of moves in the heat that you were able to then kind of apply once the main event came around, and what led to you having such a dominating performance?
Yeah, it was kind of the same line all night long that I typically run here at this track, and the track was just held up long enough that I could keep it throughout the whole feature.
You know, we mentioned the fact coming into tonight, you had 3 wins. You now have 4 wins on the season, the most of any driver here in the Limited 360 Sprint Car Series. We were also talking about the fact that you came into tonight's race 28 points behind for the championship. You hadn't made all of the starts this year. If you had made all the starts, how much different do you think it would have been as far as this championship battle here tonight?
I'd like to think I'd been there if I would have made them all. The fixed series, I don't have time to do setup, so this fixed series has been good for me. I struggle a little more in the setup series, but this one's been fun.
I was just going to mention about that series. You guys are going to be climbing into those 410s momentarily. So, you know, we know that we've been told those 410s have a little bit more power. You carry more speed into the corner. But what do you think? Do you think you got the opportunity here tonight at Volusia to maybe double down on the weekend?
I'm going to give them hell, but we'll see what we can do.
Well, Kyle, I mean, congratulations. 4th win of the season here. You solidify 3rd in the standings for the championship results. We're turning the mic over to you now. Let's do some shout-outs.
All right, I appreciate it. I've got to give a shout out to Massey Graphics for putting this on. You guys, Flatout Racing Network for broadcasting, and Massey again for running this series and let me race in it.
Well, that's Kyle Stoltz. A dominating performance here tonight in the 360 Sprint Cars at Volusia. We'll see if he can maybe go 2 for 2 here tonight at the dirt track. Once again, congratulations on your win, Kyle, and good luck on the event later on.
Thank you, bud.
User was moved out of your
And
channel.
last but certainly not least, let's go down and get our 2nd place finisher, your 2020 ASRA Limited 360 Sprint Car champion, Clifford Driscoll.
User was moved to your channel.
Hey, Clifford, it's Seth up here in the Flatout Racing Network studios. You got me?
I do, guys. How's it going?
Well, man, I mean, we were working the calculators. We were looking at the point situation coming in tonight. 2 points behind Cody Olsen coming into this race. We saw you qualify well, 6th for the main event. He was shotgun. How much were you keeping track of where that 6th car was as the longer the run went on?
Once I got up into second place, I just kind of tried to pace myself right there, and we got a couple late cautions, and I started peeking over at the scoreboard, and I saw him creeping up there. So I was doing my best just not let anybody get by there and steal any extra points that weren't necessary.
Yeah, we saw him kind of stall out around 6th, 7th position there, closing near the end of the race. You had solidified second place, but then that late race yellow comes out, setting you guys up for a green-white checkered. I mean, how difficult is it to kind of keep yourself mentally focused for that restart, knowing you've got that 6 just a couple cars behind you?
It was a lot more difficult than I wanted it to be, I'll tell you that. I wish he'd have been a little farther down the leaderboard so I wouldn't have to worry about it. But just tried to keep my eye on the back of the 5 and just try and pace myself, not make any mistakes on my part, and hope at the end there it would shake out in my favor. And I think we got it.
Well, I mean, Clifford, congratulations on winning the championship here this season. You were able to go to victory lane as well, which helped you in that regards of trying to keep it close there with Cody. And second place here tonight. I know you would have loved to have won tonight's race and won the championship, but congratulations on a job well done this entire season.
Oh, heck yeah. I mean, I didn't think only winning one would be enough. Cody ripped off 2 or 3 in a row right there in the middle of the season, and I knew I had my work cut out for me. So coming into tonight, just knowing I had to beat him by 1 or 2 spots, I just tried to focus forward and not give anything away that I didn't, not give him any free points.
Well, Clifford Driscoll, second place tonight is all that he needed to be able to wrap up this championship. Clifford, sponsors, thank you. Shoutouts, what do you got?
Oh, heck yeah. First and foremost, I got to thank my wife. She watches the kids while I do this so I can focus on it. So thanks to her. iRacing iFlag, Ken Skins Custom iRacing Paints, the Full Velocity Racing Network, JMP Home Inspections, Cedar Creek Beef Jerky, West Side Signs, One Shot Scrap and Recycling, and the Sword Speed Shop over for 3D Boys. They make these pieces quick when we got the open setups.
Well, he came in tonight battling for the championship, took 30 laps here at Volusia. At the end of the night when the checker flag waves, Clifford Driscoll is your 2020 ASRA Limited 360 Sprint Car Champion. Congratulations once again there, Clifford. I know the weight is off your shoulders now, so go and enjoy this championship. Well done.
Heck yeah. Appreciate it, guys. Thanks for putting this on and showcasing us out there.
User was moved out of your channel.
And so as Clifford Driscoll will now be able to celebrate his championship here at Volusia, we're going to be stepping aside for a brief moment, swapping things over as we're getting ready now for the Outlaw 410 sprint cars to take here to Volusia Raceway Park. As we swap that stuff over, stay tuned. We'll be right back in just a moment as the season finale of ASRA, the finale weekend at Volusia, continues on here on the Flatout Racing Network. And we welcome you back, everybody, here to Volusia Raceway Park for the season finale of the ASRA Outlaw 410 Sprint Cars Series. Getting ready for the main event, but first we've got to have our qualifying heats, as 16 drivers will take the green flag in tonight's season finale. We will be keeping mostly our focus here tonight on who's going to be able to close out the season with a checkered flag, just based on the fact you guys saw the best championship battle of the night moments ago when it was Cody Olsen and Clifford Driscoll battling it out in the final green-white checkered finish of the season. And Driscoll, by 2 positions and 2 points, was able to edge out Olsen for said championship. Cody Olsen, however, has got the championship here in this series wrapped up. Coming into tonight, 74 points between himself and Timothy DeSchwartz. There is no possible way that DeSchwartz can close that gap up. But Timothy's still looking for his first win of the season, and he could maybe be on the route to that if he could start at the very front of the field for tonight's main event. He is your pole sitter for this first heat, alongside of Terry Bauman. Michael Massey, who's up to 3rd in the standings. He's going to roll off 3rd. Cody Olsen, your champion, I guess we can call him that now. Your champion is going to roll off from 4th. Kyle Stoltz, who's trying to make it 2 for 2 here tonight at Volusia. He won the 360 race earlier on. He's 5th. And Martin Karch is going to roll off from 6th. You've got all 4 of your top 4 in the points in this heat. Olsen, DeSchwartz, Massey, and Karch. You got to think that more than likely these are going to be 4 you'll have to keep an eye on to possibly win tonight's main event, as well as that 5 of Kyle Stoltz, as we're underway here for the first heat. DeSchwartz going to pull ahead, leaving the battle now for 2nd. Stoltz to the inside of Massey. Drives it deep into 3 and 4, trying to get alongside of DeSchwartz off of turn 4. Couldn't do it. Now he'll drive way to the inside here in 1 and 2. He may have the spot, and he will, as they're nose to tail, first back through 5th. Wow, that was that Massey? That was Massey getting really out of shape there. No, I'm sorry, that was DeSchwartz in 69. He got way out of shape, drifted up the track, lost 2nd to Cody Olsen, trying to take that spot back. Here comes Martin Karch. I think you're going to see these drivers here in this series a little looser in the corner than they were in the 360s, just based on the fact, number 1, there's more power with these 410s. Number 2, this series, it's open setup. And there goes Martin Karch, down into DeSchwartz, who's going to hit the inside wall hard. Now back up to the outside wall there in turn 1. Martin Karch got the fence, came down into Timothy DeSchwartz, and taking the white flag is Kyle Stoltz. He's going to lead them back to the checkered flag here as through 3 and 4. Kyle Stoltz will start pole for the main event. Cody Olsen crosses 2nd. Michael Massey in 3rd. Terry Bauman 4th. Martin Karch will get 5th with Timothy DeSchwartz in 6th. Karch and DeSchwartz never even made it to the checkered flag. So Kyle Stoltz, who already has a victory tonight in the 360s, will be starting on point in the 410s main event. And now we get ready for our second heat, which is going to have Brian Hogue starting on point. He'll be alongside of Adam Huggins. Isaiah Dowd will roll off from 3rd, Scott Monksgaard in 4th, and Ronald Piles will complete this heat. Ronald Piles, we saw 4 of our top 4 in the first heat. Ronald Piles, who completes the top 5, 5th in the standings with a win this season. He is in this heat. Brian Hogue is 8th in points. Scott Monksgaard is 11th in the standings. Isaiah Dowd kind of entered in midway portion of the season. He is 18th in the standings, and Adam Huggins is 20th in points. Want to remind everybody that to tune in to tomorrow night, we're crowning champions here with the sprint cars, but tomorrow night it is Monday Night Lights for the ASRA, as we'll have the Outlaw Super Late models and the Pro Late models. Their championship battles will be decided. It's looking very much like we could have a two-time champion by the time that night concludes with CJ Phillips. He's been dominating over there in the late model series, the respective late model series, and Flatout Racing Network will have the call. That'll be tomorrow night here on Flatout Racing Network for the ASRA. Brian Hogue and Adam Huggins going to be leading us to the green in this one. Trying to look and see what the best battle right now in points is that we'll keep tabs on during the course of the evening. It looks like it's going to be from about 6th on down through 9th. You've got John Bragman, 4 points up on Rick Gibson, 7 points up on Brian Hogue, and 11 points up on Kyle Stoltz. That could be our battle here tonight as far as who's going to be where in the finishing results of the standings inside of the top 10. As Brian Hogue, he's going to pull away. Isaiah Dowd going to move into second. Third place is going to be Ronald Piles, who swings high, wide, and handsome around the outside. Got loose off of 4 there, couldn't close up on the 96. Dowd now is all over the back bumper of Brian Hogue for the race lead. And we've already had an issue with the driver. Adam Huggins is on pit lane in the 16 machine, so he will start towards the rear of the field in the main event. Same situation as we had in the 360s, where we will not have a B main. All 16 drivers taking part in these 3 heats will be in the main event. We'll just have that minute-and-a-half warm-up session between then and now. Continuing to hold down the top position, but throw a blanket over the top 3. Hogue, Dowd, Piles. Separated by about half a second is now Piles to the inside of Isaiah Dowd. Dowd's going to get the wall there off of 2. Almost chops the nose off of Ronald Piles. That was a close call on the back straightaway as the white flag has been received. Brian Hogue going to lead them back around. I believe he's going to wrap up this win in this second heat. Battle's going to be for second. Dowd drives it deep. Here comes Piles. Piles is going to get the second position. Barely over Isaiah Dowd. Monksguard will cross in 4th. And Adam Huggins did not make it to the checkered flag. He will finish in 5th. And that sets us up for our 3rd and final heat here tonight. That's going to be Rick Gibson lining up on point. Chad Coate will be 2nd. Grant Wesley, who went to victory lane a couple of weeks ago, he's going to be 3rd. Brian Beach will be 4th. And John Bragman, 6th in the standings. He will be the completion of this 3rd and final heat. The rest of these other drivers in this heat, Brian Beach, he's 10th in points coming into tonight. Grant Wesley, 15th in the standings. Got to go a long ways down before you find Chad Coate. He is 23rd in points coming into tonight. And Rick Gibson, our pole sitter for this heat, he is 7th in the standings coming into tonight's event. Of course, coming off a 3rd place finish in the 360 race just moments ago. Talking, of course, about Rick Gibson. And I don't think we can stress just how much of a difference maker Rick Gibson was in that 360 race. He was, in essence, the difference maker into who was going to be the champion and who was not. If he had bypassed Clifford Driscoll for 2nd place, it would have been a tie. Undoubtedly, the tiebreaker would have gone to Cody Olsen, based on him having 2 wins and Driscoll having 1. If Gibson had allowed Cody Olsen to get around him for 3rd, same situation. It would have been a tie for the championship and had to have come down to a tiebreaker. So the meaning of Rick Gibson finishing 3rd in that race was the single deciding factor into Clifford Driscoll winning the 360 Sprint Car Championship. Now, obviously, there's nobody that can play a part into who's going to be the champion here for the 410s unless there's the possibility that a 75-point penalty can be given to somebody. Outside of that realm of possibility, Cody Olsen, doesn't matter where he starts here in this main event, he's got the championship locked up. Now we're going to find out who's going to start 3rd for the main event here as Gibson out in front. Now it's going to be Chad Coate left to battle here with Grant Wesley. Actually, check that. The bright pink 11 drives it deep. He gets into Gibson, and Gibson's going to spin it. No, he's not. He's going to keep it going. But Brian Beach got spun around the front straightaway. They're 3 wide for the lead coming off of 2. Contact there between Bragman and the 4. Wesley in the 88 as Wesley got in the back of Bragman off of turn 2. That's allowing Chad Coate to get away. Chad Coate, who drove it deep into turns 1 and 2, or make that turn 3, got into the 38 of Rick Gibson, who is not giving up. He's back to the inside of Bragman for second with 3 laps to go. Gibson's coming back, and I almost think the courtesy that was shown to him by Chad Coate, if he gets up there to that 11, he's going to show the same courtesy. Oh, he may have gotten a little too low. He got into the wall just a least little bit. More contact as Gibson gets hit from behind by John Bragman. 2 laps to go here at Volusia. In this heat, what a lot of beating and banging here from the initial drop of the green flag as Chad Coate is going to come around for the final time. He's going to start third for the main event. The battle's back on for second between Bragman and Gibson. Wesley drives it in deep, trying to make it a 3-man fight, not close enough. Gibson's going to battle back from 4th back up to 2nd behind Chad Coate. Bragman's going to get 3rd. Wesley's going to finish in 4th. And 5th place is going to be Brian Beach. As we now have our warm-up session, these drivers going to get to go out there for a little under 2 minutes, be able to learn what this racetrack's going to bring to the table for them. The track is wetted back up. There's more grip for them to be able to work with as they prepare for our main event. We're stepping aside for a quick commercial break. Don't go away. The season finale for the ASRA Outlaw 410 Sprint Cars is moments away from going green.
Since the VFW was founded, their mission was really to look out for the veterans community, to make sure that our nation upholds its promise to really care for the service member, the veteran, and his or her family. There are several ways that the VFW fights for veterans today. The top services include disability claims assistance, advocacy on Capitol Hill and with the Department of Veterans Affairs. We also offer scholarship opportunities, and then also volunteerism. For me personally, when I came back from Iraq, my life experience was drastically different from those around me, and the veterans of foreign wars really spoke to me. The reason I would encourage veterans who have served overseas today to join the VFW is because this is your organization. The VFW is for veterans. Every generation, a new generation of leaders steps up in the veterans of foreign wars and fights for the veterans community.
The Veterans of Foreign Wars. No one does more for veterans. For more information on the VFW, go to ahctv.com/sacrifice.
Most everyone involved in sim racing always wants that edge or even make the experience a little bit better, or in this case, a little bit more in-depth. Enter iRacing iFlag. iFlag is a simulation signal box with software designed by Peter Vostro. When you are behind the wheel in iRacing, your eyes are looking down the track or maybe even in the rear or side view mirrors. You may not notice or even hear when the caution comes out, when your car is damaged, or if you get black flagged, or even notice the car beside you. Yes, iFlag will point out the signs and tell you where that car is. It just makes iRacing more real and can help you become a better driver. We also offer iRacing iFlag Digital Pit Box. This small box is a great addition to any sim rig. With only 3.5 inches wide, it gives you all the information you need.
Field is ready to go green here tonight for 30 laps of racing in the season finale for the ASRA 410 Outlaw Sprint Cars. And we're getting ready for these drivers to grid up. Kyle Stoltz is going to be on point. He was the winner of the first heat. He's looking to go 2 for 2, complete the weekend sweep here tonight after winning the 360 sprint car race earlier on this evening. He'll start alongside of our second heat winner, Brian Hogue. Our third heat winner, Chad Coate, lines up in third. And the champion of the series here tonight, Cody Olson, will be rolling off from the 4th position. Ronald Piles and Rick Gibson, row 3. Row 4, Michael Massey and Isaiah Dowd, who will be the outgoing champion of the series. Row 5 is going to find John Bragman with Terry Bauman completing the top 10. Scott Monksgaard 11th, Grant Wesley in 12th. Martin Karch 13th, Adam Huggins in 14th, Brian Beach and Timothy DeSchwartz in 15th and 16th place. From 13th on back, those are drivers that ran into some issues here in their respective heats. Obviously, they're hoping that doesn't take place here in the main event. These drivers, of course, have one fast repair at their disposal should they need it in tonight's main event. And we'll see if we end up seeing a long green flag run or not. I believe we had 4 cautions in our 30-lap event for the 360 sprints. We'll see what these 410s do. These cars look a lot looser based on the fact that the drivers get to put up the setups they want into their race cars as opposed to the 360s being a fixed setup league. So we'll see just what type of racing we are in for here tonight. As Kyle Stoltz, Brian Hogue lead us down. Green flag is in the air. We're racing in the season finale. And already we're fanned out. 3 wide off of turn 2. That is Ronald Piles in the middle of that. Brian Hogue on the top side. I think that was Rick Gibson in the middle. Caution is out already. It's Isaiah Dowd, the defending champion, bringing out the first caution of the evening. Dowd is already on pit road. I also want to just bring up the fact that Grant Wesley, we saw him take part in the 360s race. He was the defending champion of that series before Clifford Driscoll won the championship here tonight. And we've had an airborne car here tonight at Volusia. Watch this. Going into turn 3. Contact there. I think that's Wesley. That's getting into Isaiah Dowd. And the car just starts barrel rolling and almost cleared the billboards out there in the turn 3 area. Caution out for the first time here tonight already. And much like we had in the 360 race, the 410 drivers will run 30 laps green flag only. Caution laps will not count. It will be 30 green flag laps for tonight's main event. As Isaiah Dowd, his car came to rest on its side, and therefore he had to teleport to pit road, so Dowd's going to find himself a few laps down. He'll be able to get those laps back should we end up having a couple of more cautions along the way, but he's already fallen, I believe now 2 laps down, may fall a 3rd down, depending on how long his tow is going to be. Cody Olsen, we've already mentioned, is going to be the champion. Timothy DeSchwartz looks like he is going to wrap up 2nd place here tonight. And I even think Michael Massey has got 3rd place in the championship standings locked up. The gap between him and Martin Karch was 12 points. Massey would have to finish lower than 12th place here tonight to lose that 3rd spot. Green flag back in the air. Stoltz pulls away. Chad Coate in 2nd. Battle's going to be for 3rd. We got a spinner back there. Is that Olsen in the 6th? It was. No caution, however. Cody Olsen looked like he was completely facing the wrong way. Somehow no caution comes out for that. He drops all the way back to 13th place. Boy, I bet he's glad he had that 74-point gap coming into tonight's event. How about this battle up here? Brian Hogue, John Bragman, Timothy DeSchwartz. They were 3 wide off of turn 2 that last lap. They're almost 3 wide off of turn 2 this lap. And Grant West, oh, we got a car on the wall. That's Hogue in the 14. He's up, he's over, he's flipping, and he's going again, but the caution will come out. Well, I give it a 10 for style points. The 14 went up, over, went straight, flipped back frontwards, and continued on. But you gotta wonder just how much damage was sustained there, especially to the wing area. Scott Monksgaard in the 44 is actually on pit lane as well. He was not caught up in this incident, I don't believe, that brought out the yellow flag, but he might be coming down to use his fast repair. We'll find out if that's the case, and it certainly looks like that is indeed what is happening for the 44 car. Let's see what happened to Brian Hogue. Just too high off of turn 2. His right side tires grip that steel guardrail. He begins riding the wall. Look at that. front flips it over, keeps it going. It's Terry Bauman that came up right up on him. I think that because there was oncoming traffic, race officials no choice but to throw the caution, but that was very nearly an incident that may not have necessarily brought the yellow flag out. So second caution of the night here. 5 laps in. And I think we can very easily attribute both of our early cautions to the fact that it is open setup. These cars have looked not quite as stable as they did back in the 360 race. I think a good portion of that is because they're so much looser. You want that back end to swing out when you go into the corner. That's where you gain your speed. You want the car to turn in the corner. You want the back end to kick out, but then you also want the back end to go back straight when you exit off the corner. And I think that incident there with Brian Hogue coming off of turn 2 might have been just carrying too much speed. Got up there into that steel guardrail, and as stated, I mean, most of these tracks that we've gone to, we've seen kind of the concrete wall you see on the inside line right there. It's been that kind of a wall. It hasn't been the steel guardrail. A steel guardrail will actually rip your car apart. And we've seen some of the shots into that outside wall here tonight be pretty detrimental to some of these drivers. The green flag is back in the air. Drivers that have utilized fast repairs at this point in time: Scott Monksgaard, Brian Hogue, and Isaiah Stroud, as Chad Cote trying to battle for the race lead, can't quite get there. That is a cluster on the inside though. That was, I believe, Rick Gibson down there. Grant Wesley was down there. Timothy DeShort was down there as well. As Bragman gets out of shape, he's going to keep it going, but man, that car was loosey-goosey off of turn 2. He's running Martin Karch out of room going into turn 1, and we almost had contact up ahead. Grant Wesley and Ronald Piles almost getting together. No, I'm sorry, that was Wesley and Gibson almost getting together. They may have made contact there. It was close if they didn't. Look at these cars, how they slide through the corner. This is the loosest we've seen drivers so far here tonight, as now Timothy DeShort was slideways. He's got a rear deck lid, if these cars have deck lids, full of Martin Karch in the 33. This is the best battle right now, from 4th back to 7th. And how much are these drivers working the wheel? Well, let's find out. Inside of Grant Wesley's number 88. And look how that car is just back and forth on the straightaway. It looks smooth in the corner, but watch it here on the straightaway if the caution is out. Caution is out. It's Cody Olsen again. The 6 loops it around. Looks like that's over in 1 and 2. Caution's going to fly once more. We actually, I think, had a lead change as well. I think Chad Cote got around Kyle Stoltz for the race lead just prior to that caution coming out. He did indeed. Go back and see what happened to Cody Olsen, who has now been added to the list of drivers taking on a fast repair. He was battling at the time with the 4 of John Bragman. They make some contact, and then Brian Beach comes in on the inside, gets into the 6. Oh, he got clobbered by another driver there. At the 96 of Drought it was. A 3-car incident there. Olsen, Bragman, and Stroud after contact between Olsen and Beach in what I believe was a battle somewhere around the 6th position. Yellow flag waving for the 3rd time here tonight. And Chad Cote was able to get around Kyle Stoltz for the top position, closing in on the halfway point. Stoltz coming into tonight's race, we talked with him after his victory in the 360s. He says, don't have the time to be able to really put the effort in to be able to make a good open setup race car. He's been strong here in the early stages, but now he's got to have to battle his way back. Neither he nor the car out in front here of Chad Cote have gone to victory lane this season. However, if you look at the numbers, in the limited number of starts they've made, average finishing position of 7th for Kyle Stoltz, average finishing position of 3rd for Chad Cote. Green flag back in the air, and boy, I don't know what happened to Chad. but he did not get going at all. Kyle Stoltz says, thank you very much. I'll take the race lead back. Ronald Piles moves around for second. Gibson going to move into third. Something's wrong with the 11. I don't know if he missed a shift or what. Something's wrong. I think he's got a mechanical problem, because that car just did not get going. He may have blown a gear. He's coming down to the attention of his crew right now. We'll follow up on that one, as he's on pit road longer than a fast repair. I think something happened mechanically to that car, as we almost had Martin Karch up into the wall off of turn 2. Drop back a little bit further. Cody Olsen, who we saw get involved in that latest wreck. He's trying to get around the outside of Michael Massey. That's for 8. Grant Wesley and Brian Beach battling just up ahead of them. That's for 6. As Beach way out of shape through the center of 3 and 4. Here comes Olsen with a run on the outside. They've now also caught Timothy DeSchwartz in the 69. So you've got 5th through 8th back here, all side by side. Oh, look at this! Look at this! Olsen got into the back of Brian Beach. I almost thought that might have been a little bit of payback from what happened just a few laps ago when Beach got into Olsen, sending him up the track in turns 1 and 2. Beach way up the track as 3 drivers fight for the inside. DeSchwartz, Olsen, and Wesley. Now add Michael Massey into this group as Wesley got out of shape out of turn 2. Here comes Massey looking for a spot. Olsen all over the back bumper of DeSchwartz. This is the best battling on the track right now, which is why we're focused on it. Your top 3 have checked out on this group as well as each other. Half a second from first back to second, another half second from second back to third, and then a full second back to fourth. Caution is out, however. It's Brian Beach in the 18. And he's had to teleport it to pit road. Chad Coate is also slow, always bringing his car back out onto the track after spending 6 laps in pit road. Brian Beach brings out this yellow flag, and it's in the same vicinity as the 6 of Cody Olsen. Let's wait and see if there was a little bit more payback here. Ooh, we got sent. We definitely got sent up there in a 1 and 2. Oh, and then Wesley gets loose. Oh, no, Brian Beach just kind of pulled a Brian Hogue from earlier. And I think Brian, actually, talking about Brian Hogue, might have gotten a piece of that wreck. 18 just overdrove it there coming off of turn 2. Those right side tires catch the steel guardrail and sent him up and over. So Brian Beach will undoubtedly have to use his fast repair, but first he's going to have to take his toe. It's going to lose him at least a lap, maybe 2. Chad Coate will have the opportunity to be able to go around, try and get as many laps as possible back before going green. Currently scored 6 laps down to the race leaders. As Kyle Stoltz going to be getting us back underway. Ronald Piles in second. Rick Gibson third. Martin Karch fourth. And Timothy DeSchwartz is going to complete the top 5. Olsen's fought his way back up to 6th. Wesley in 7th. Massey 8th. Hogan 9th. And Scott Monksgart is going to complete the top 10. It's going to be single file restarts now here since we've already worked 3 cautions. And the lights are out atop the pace car, and I don't think Chad Coate came around and got any of his laps back. He will still be -6 when we go back green. Brian Beach still waiting on his tow to be completed. So 14 cars on the lead lap of 16 drivers that are still officially in this race. 10-lap shootout to finish it here tonight as Stoltz gets back through the gears. Ronald Piles did not get going. He actually started up on the outside line, opening up the door for Rick Gibson to take the spot, but now Piles going to battle back on the top side. Martin Karch, that bright pink and white 33. He's going to try and swing to the 3rd position. Couldn't quite get alongside Rick Gibson. Behind them, another driver way up the track. That's Grant Wesley right up against the wall. How about Timothy DeSchwartz driving it deep? He's looking for 4th on Karch, bringing Cody Olsen along with him. DeSchwartz right now in the top 5. Whoa, Karch all over the back bumper of Gibson. This could be hairy off of turn 2. There is contact, and they all keep it together. Turn 2 seems to be the big trouble spot for these drivers. I don't know what it is about that particular corner, but when you've got drivers nose to tail coming off of turn 2, especially on that outside line, that seems to be where trouble breaks out. Gibson got really loose again that time off of 2, as did Grant Wesley. Now DeSchwartz going to move by all these drivers up to 3rd. Olsen into 4th. Karch now back to the 5th position. As Piles about 4/10 of a second ahead of this. Karch pounds the inside wall. Is that going to be a yellow? It will. And he's flipping on the back straightaway. Nobody hit him. That car just got loose off the corner. We saw it happen live. And Martin Karch, the latest victim of the looseness off of turn 2. Here it was, coming through 1 and 2. Watch how that 33 just never straightens back out. It just continues to turn left. Oh, he actually got up into the wall before he exited out of turn 2. There's the shot. And I'm trying to figure out who that car was that hit him. I think it might have possibly been the 12 of Michael Massey. Find out for absolute certain. Massey may have gotten him with the front end of his race car. Massey is not coming down pit road, so if he did sustain damage, it wasn't much. Let's see if indeed he does get the 33 or not. You're going to see the 33 right there up ahead. Spins down to the inside wall, and no, I think he got through it. I think he barely got through it unscathed. Massey right now in the 7th position, as we're moments away from going back green. I think we just got the 1 to green signal, so it'll be another 5-lap shootout. We had a 5-lap shootout in 360's race, but we did not finish that shootout under green. We had a green-white checkered, so we'll see if that's going to be the case here in the 410s as well. Going to be Stoltz with the lead. Piles 2nd. DeSchwartz now up to 3rd. Olsen in 4th. He's the highest running driver that's already utilized his fast repair. Rick Gibson in 5th. And it's Wesley, Massey, Monksgaard, Bragman, and Hogue. We have only 6, make that 7 drivers who have not utilized a fast repair so far here tonight. Your top 3, and then 5th through 7th, as well as Terry Bauman in the 40. Green flag back in the air. 5 laps to go. Can we run them under the green flag, though? Stoltz is gone. Battle now for 3rd. Wow, DeSchwartz got loose there through 3 and 4. That opens up an opportunity for Cody Olsen. Now DeSchwartz down the inside line, looking to maybe take 2nd away from Ronald Piles, who got the wall off of 2. Here comes Gibson in the 38. He's up on the top side. 2nd through 5th, maybe 6th if you're counting Grant Wesley. Throw a blanket over them as Stoltz trying to open up a gap here, trying to sweep the weekend here at Volusia. 3 wide for 3rd place. Make that 2nd place. Piles gonna hold on to the spot. Olsen moves to 3rd. DeSchwartz back to 4th. Battles on for 5th. That's Wesley on the inside. Gibson on the outside. As this time around, white flag will be displayed for Kyle Stoltz. Battle for 2nd is on the final lap. Olsen on the bottom. Piles on the top. As Stoltz is going to sweep the weekend here at Volusia. He won the 360 sprint car race earlier on tonight. He wins the 410 sprint car race here this evening at Volusia. And Cody Olsen will finish out the season 3rd. He is your ASRA champion for the Outlaw 410 sprint cars. Kyle Stoltz, he said he wasn't sure about what to expect with the setup he had tonight, since he wasn't able to dedicate as much time as he would have wanted to it, but he said he loves Volusia. Kyle Stoltz and the Volusia combination here tonight combined for 2 trips to victory lane in the 2 series of Sunday Night Speed. Piles gets a great run here tonight to cap off what's been a great season for him. Top 5 in points, a trip to victory lane. He'll finish 2nd tonight, and Cody Olsen didn't even have to finish this race to win the championship. He had a 74-point gap coming into tonight's event, but caps off the season with a podium finish, a 3rd place run to go along with his 4 trips to victory lane, as well as his eventual championship trophy. Rick Gibson brings it home in 4th. The Schwartz will finish in 5th. Two drivers that have been up inside of the top 10 all season long. Grant Wesley, 6th. Michael Massey, 7th. So he'll hold down 3rd place here tonight in the standings. John Bragman, Scott Monksgaard, and Adam Huggins going to complete the top 10. Then it was Terry Ballman in 11th. He was the last car on the lead lap. Brian Hogue and Brian Beach, they finished a lap down apiece. Chad Coate, 5 laps down due to what I can only assume was a transmission issue on one of those restarts. Martin Karch in 15th. And Isaiah Dowd, the outgoing champion, will finish out the season in the 16th position. Let's go down trackside. It's time to get a word with some of our finishers. Let's get our 2nd place finisher here. His best finish, I think, of the season, or at least ties. No, it's not his best finish of the season because he had a win, but a great finish nonetheless. 2nd place for Ronald Piles.
User was moved to your channel.
Hey, Ronald, it's Seth up here in the Flatout Racing Network studios. You got me?
Yes, sir. What a race, I'll tell you what, brother.
Absolutely. I mean, we saw you have to fight your way through quite a number of cars to get yourself up there to 2nd, and then a couple of near moments there off of turn 2 in those final few laps. But, man, a strong performance for you here tonight to close out the season. But what were some of the things, especially here being an open setup race, that you had to kind of deal with during the course of this 30-lap event?
In all honesty, the car was tight, felt great. Getting through a little bit of contact early with Chad there, and unfortunately that happened. But he left the gap open on the outside, and I took it, and I didn't mean to get into him. Just tight racing, and you can't really see on the right side of these cars. I took that into consideration, but I figured, he's usually pretty good about leaving room, and I think maybe he just wasn't anticipating me to get such a great run off the corner that I did, and make contact, but nothing intentional there, and we were just able to keep it straight and come out of it, unfortunately, on his part. But good hard racing, especially here. Volusia's, usually not one of my favorite tracks, but a couple teammates there helping make the track a good favorite here tonight for the 410s for sure.
Now, I know that you ran the top side for most of this race, and we've seen during the course of the season a lot of drivers really like that higher line at the dirt tracks. But you brought up the point about that visibility issue out the right side with that wing kind of hanging down. We were on board with a couple of drivers during the course of this race, too, seeing that visibility problem. Does that also lead, do you think, to a lot of drivers preferring that outside line because then you don't have a blind spot in case somebody is to driver's right?
Yeah, I can I say that's one of my biggest pet peeves about the sprint cars in general, is not being able to see. I love visibility. Even with, I run triples, some guys run VR. VR might give you a bigger space to look through. I got maybe the size of the very front end of a window net that I could actually see, but it's a very small margin. But I do prefer the outside. I can run the bottom and I can stick down there, and that really helped me out early in the going as the guys are trying to figure out the top side. There's a little bit of leeway due to the fact that the bottom was a little bit, with the leader getting on the gas and going, you kind of have an advantage on the bottom, but the top side rolls back around off the top of 2 and 4 on that first lap. And, once you get your speed built back up, you're pretty much just, setting gold from then on.
We saw in those last couple of restarts there, Ronald, you rolled off from 2nd on the grid, and, Kyle was able to get ahead of you, but not by much. It was only maybe about 3 car lengths whenever we would look and see the difference between you and the 5. What little bit more do you think you needed out of your race car to be able to get to his back bumper there in the closing stages of this race?
In all honesty, it probably would have been a little better to have a car more set up for the bottom. I'd kind of tend to follow the grip lines that iRacing sets forth for each season. So being the top side dominant, I needed him to make more mistakes than what he did. I had a faster car, I believe. I just wasn't afforded the opportunity via the grip levels in order to make it happen here tonight, as far as track being tacky in other portions of the racetrack. But I was able to catch him in areas where he wasn't quite as strong, or where he was trying not to make that mistake that I was looking for.
Well, Ronald, still a great season for you overall. You had a trip to victory lane this season. You end the season out with a 2nd place run. It looks like you're going to be officially finishing 4th in the championship stands as well. So congrats on a great overall season. We're going to now turn the microphone over and let you do some shout-outs.
All right, I want to thank Massey first and foremost for putting this on. Also want to thank thank everybody for coming out and enjoying this fantastic racing that we put on each and every week here. I'll thank Cody Olson for a great clean race there coming to the line for sure. Once again, I want to thank you guys for picking up the broadcast that you've been doing on the Flatout Racing Network. Also want to thank a couple sponsors here, Har Esports, Rick Gibson and the guys, Gary Peck, for putting the time into these setups and able to bring us on with the podium finish here to close out the season, and top 5 in points as well. Also want to thank iRacing iFlag, Full Velocity Racing Network, and BladeNerd.com. Simple Web Solutions powered by nerds. That's going to wrap it up here for my interview. And thank you guys once again for a fantastic season. And thanks to all the competitors for showing up and making it what it was. And thanks to all the fans out there as well for tuning in to watch this show.
Well, that's Ronald Piles. He closes out the 2020 season for the ASRA Outlaw 410 Sprint Cars with a second place run here tonight at Volusia. Once again, congrats on a great run here tonight and a great season overall, Ronald.
Thank you very much. Have a good night.
User was moved out of your channel.
Let's see if we can go down to victory lane. Kyle Stoltz, back-to-back victories here tonight. He sweeps Volusia.
User was moved to your channel.
Hey, Kyle, it's Seth up here in the Flatout Racing Network 2s again. You got me?
I gotcha.
Well, man, when I asked you about sweeping tonight, you said you weren't quite sure about what your open setup was going to bring to the table. But, man, that thing looked just as fast as your fixed setup did earlier on here tonight. Same kind of a feeling here at Volusia, or was there a slight difference you felt between the 360s and the 410s?
Way different. The track got a lot slicker for the 410s, which is typical, so the lines were way different. But car felt good, just as good as the 360.
You know, we saw you win your heat in the 360s. You won your heat here in the 410s, but the difference was here in the 410s, you were able to start on point, able to have that clean air if that's possible at a dirt track. How important was that for you to be able to control the restarts and pretty much dominate this race?
It's everything. That was probably it. And then the one guy got outside of me, so I was happy to let him just go, and I'd fall in behind him and try the outside, and then we got a restart, and I was able to get in front of him and then rode the top the rest of the race.
We saw a lot of drivers have some difficulty, especially it seemed with turn 2, either getting really loose off of 2 or having the car almost tighten up on them and getting up into that steel guardrail. Did you feel any of that off of turn 2 at any point in this race?
Nah, 3 and 4 was worrying me. They're like the last 10 laps, but there's just a fine line of grip way out there, and you got to enter really high to be able to get through there good, and it can be a little dangerous.
Well, Kyle, congratulations on not only sweeping the weekend here at Volusia, but getting your first win of the season here in the Outlaw 410 Sprint Cars. One final time, we're going to turn the microphone over to you and let you some shout-outs.
All right, man. Thank you. Shout out to Massey Graphics for putting this on once again, and the league. Like I said, it's fun racing with these guys. It was a fun season. A lot of these guys in here are fun to race with. Country Shine in the Car, my own sponsor. I didn't shout them out last time, so we'll get them out there. And you guys for doing the podcast. Appreciate it.
That's Kyle Stoltz, 2 for 2 here tonight at the Volusia Raceway Park. Congratulations there, Kyle. Go enjoy your victories, and great job here tonight at Volusia.
All right, thank you, bud.
User was moved.
All right, last but not least, he came in tonight knowing as soon as he took the green flag, he was going to be the champion of the series, and that's Cody Olson.
User was moved to your channel.
Hey, Cody, it's Seth up here in the Flatout Racing Network 2s. You got me?
Yes, sir.
Well, I mean, we already documented tonight, 74-point gap for the points lead. You had this championship wrapped up, so how easy was it to go out here, kind of put the championship out of your mind, and just go out there and try and finish out the season with a trip to victory lane?
Oh, it wasn't too bad. We kind of knew coming into this, like you said, that we kind of had it wrapped up. We just kind of had to show up tonight and do our thing. But we saw a little bit of bad luck there in the beginning, but was able to make up on it and come back up through the field and grab a podium spot.
Yeah, we saw, obviously, a lot of people take for granted the fact that this is a dirt track. It is a short track, and we know the short tracks lead to short tempers. You talked about that incident that you had there, that spin out over in 1 and 2, the contact between you and the 18. We saw the two of you racing pretty hard in close proximity after that. Was there a little bit of payback coming there?
No, you try not to hold on to those things, because then you kind of get a little distracted while you're driving. You start missing lines and stuff. So you gotta kind of let that stuff go and move on and stay focused on your racing line and race your race.
Well, there's no doubt in terms of consistency, Cody, you've been the most consistent here in the sprint cars. You almost were able to pull off the championship here earlier on the 360s. You close out the championship here in the 410s. Well, this kind of momentum, how do you feel it's going to carry you into next season?
Well, we got to check the schedule. I'm pretty sure we're in for the 410s. I don't know if Michael has any other things up his sleeve, but I know we'll at least be back for the 410s. So We'll hopefully we'll carry this momentum, over into that season. We've been last 2 or 3 weeks we haven't been able to race as much as we normally do, so we're a little rusty. So we gotta put some time in and get back in the shop and get some work done and get back at it and get after this next season.
Well, you certainly know when you come in with a huge points lead into the season finale that you have been consistent during the course of the year. I mean, the statistics don't lie. 4 trips to victory lane, an average starting position of 3rd, an average finish position of 2nd. I mean, you have been almost flawless here in the 410 season. So congratulations on a job well done. A great way to cap off the season for you as well with a podium run. Cody, we're now going to turn the microphone over. Let you do some shout outs.
First and foremost, Michael, for putting on this league and making all this happen. He's the man. I know it takes a lot to do this stuff and get this stuff done. Second, you for broadcasting this. I know you've been with us, off and on all season. And it's great to go back and watch these. You guys do an amazing job. And then all the boys at American Dirt Motorsports, and then all of our sponsors that keep us going: Dirt Co Media House, Dirt Car Racing Gear, WFO Race Engines, 34 Raceway, Toro Media, Full Velocity Racing Network, Ram Designs, and Sprint Car Insider.
Well, that's Cody Olson. He's your 2020 ASRA Outlaw 410 Sprint Car Champion. Once again, congratulations, Cody. Go enjoy your championship, and we look forward to seeing what you're able to bring to the table with the sprint cars in the future.
Yeah, thank you, Seth. Thanks for having me.
User was moved out of your channel.
Well, 2 races in the books, 2 season finales are over, and 2 champions are crowned. Clifford Driscoll is your champion for the limited 360 sprint cars, and Cody Olson is your champion for the Outlaw 410s. Sunday Night Speed is now over for the 2020 season here for ASRA, and we appreciate you all tuning in to tonight's season finales from Volusia Raceway Park. Want to just give a personal thank you here as well to Michael Massey for bringing us on board to broadcast a number of their races this season. Again, be sure to tune in tomorrow as we are going to be covering the season finale for the ASRA Monday Night Lights. We've got the Outlaw Super Late models as well as the Pro Late Models series. They're going to have their season finale. Should be some good racing there as well. But hope you guys enjoyed tonight's event. For myself, Seth Cole, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys tomorrow evening as ASRA continues to crown their champions here. Good night from Flatout Racing Network. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday night.